Ladies and gentlemen, you've been seeing the new patches for Warcraft 3, balance patches, and the automated tournaments they just added. And today, one of my friends and mods linked me some news that actually shows where that is coming from. So I wanted to show this to you guys. Here is a investor webinar transcript from Australia's largest publicly listed video game developer called PlaySide Studios Limited. A couple of 100,000 of you probably, a couple of 100,000 people probably know who they are, or a few million. I had not heard of them before, but I had heard of their game that they have, Age of Darkness, which released into early access last year to initially quite positive reviews. They have 83% approval rating on Steam, with recently slightly more people complaining a little bit about some bugs, but generally appreciating the game, and it is still in early access. So that is interesting. And the reason that this matters to us is that they have unveiled that they are working on Warcraft Reforged. Which, you know, between all the jokes of people about there's one intern working on the game or whatever, we now know that Blizzard, once again, has enlisted outside help. Which makes sense, since all of the talented developers are leaving Blizzard in droves. So we've heard, right? There's a lot of people leaving. There's a lot of Activision-style money suits taking place and using more and more of their influence in order to squeeze as much money out of games and to focus less on what made Blizzard so special in the first place. Unrest from chat says Age of Darkness is good and fun and well made. So, as you may know, Warcraft Reforged art was outsourced to the Malaysian art studio Lemon Sky Studios, who had also done work for hire for other game developers that was very well received. However, the art for Reforged, while sometimes looking quite good, did not cohesively fit together. It was not completely finished. It did not perform that well. And you can only blame not the contractor for it, but the one that hired the contractor. Lemon Sky Studios, for all intents and purposes, seems to do good work, but the implementation, perhaps the budget, the time granted, the direction given by Blizzard was not good enough, to the point that pretty much no one plays with the reforged graphics. I do it every now and then as a gag, but I can't play with it long term for a variety of reasons. Now, once again, outside work from PlaySide Studios, and they've been working on Reforged for some time. So here's an investor webinar transcript. Hello everyone, thank you for dialing in today, and welcome to the PlaySide Studios investor webinar for the first half of financial year 23. My name is Gary Sakas, and I'm the CEO and one of the founders. Sakas? Sounds Greek, maybe. Fiscal year. Oh, I see. I'm the CEO and one of the founders of PlaySide, and I'm joined by Ben Skender, our Chief Strategy Officer. We'll be going through the investor presentation. So, to make a long story short, our performance for the December half, record levels of activity across our business, global launches of Legally Blonde and The Godfather, two highly recognizable IPs that we acquired under license and have produced casual mobile titles for. Further expansion of our work for hire relationship with Meta. Meta is Facebook, with an extension of this work out until the end of this calendar year. A separate development partnership with Meta to develop a mixed reality game, undoubtedly on Unreal Engine 5, that will see us receive payments for development as well as a revenue share once the game is launched. And the signing of a game license and publishing agreement with Netflix for Dumb Ways to Survive, which will see us bring an entertainment product based on our IP to the Netflix games series. Interesting. So they continue to talk a little bit about their record operating revenue, 16.5 million, which is really respectable, and of course nowhere near one of the big AAA companies, right? Smaller studio, clearly. I don't know exactly how many people, but that's a nice revenue. So they have some of their own titles and they do work for hire. Later on, they reveal that 2/3 of their revenue comes from work for hire. That they essentially do outsourcing gigs for other people, right? Turning to slide 8, we've been very happy with the performance of our first 2 titles on PC. The real-time strategy game Age of Darkness, which looks pretty good. I think I've seen it before. I haven't never played it yet, and maybe it should be time to play it sometime. Could be interesting. This is Age of Darkness. So you defend against hordes of nightmares. You must illuminate and build. I checked this, very positive in general, with a couple of people complaining about some bugs and save file system. Doesn't seem like insurmountable issues. Overall fairly well received. With some Darkest Dungeon-esque cover art. An RTS clearly not focused on a pervasive multiplayer, timeless experience like Warcraft 3, but still an RTS. More of a single-player RTS, a survival RTS, right? So that's Age of Darkness, and here we can actually see the team. This guy looks Greek. That must be Sakas. So anyway, that is that. 200,000 downloads to date. The game sells for like $21. For a relatively niche genre, we think this is a good figure. And does he mean survival RTS or RTS is relatively niche? I mean, either way, fair play. We've won a number of awards for the quality of the title, and so on and so on. And they leveraged the reach that Laserbeam and Fresh had as influencers. With millions of YouTube subscribers and high recognition as streamers in the gaming space, it has absolutely served that purpose. Yeah, I also have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. And if you guys want to help me, we can also get to millions. Go ahead and hit that sub button now to sub to the Grub. Then we can also serve a purpose.
Hey, man.
Yo, Wagamama. Thanks for the raid. What's up? I was just going over a part where we found out who is behind the Warcraft Reforged remaster. The remaster. It's an outside studio working for Blizzard. In order to go after these opportunities, while work for hire revenues have grown rapidly in the last 12 months, we absolutely remain committed to the goal of producing hit original IP titles. Our revenue base is so much bigger than it was at IPO, and so is our confidence in the forward pipeline on the work for hire side. We're not going to read the whole thing, by the way. It's 194 pages. But I'll go to page 4. And that permits us the ability to go after bigger opportunities in original IP. As a result, while we will continue to grow our catalog of mobile titles every year, you will start to see us working on bigger PC, console, VR, and AR opportunities. Yeah! Age of Darkness in real life. Age of Darkness in real life, where everyone around you, all the NPC bots walking around on the street, look like nightmares. And you need to illuminate them with your phone camera light. And when you do, you defeat them. And then if people are like, hey, stop shining your phone light at me, or someone is like, are you taking pictures of me? You just say, no, I'm eliminating nightmares in Age of Darkness AR experience. That's gonna be sick. What's AR? Augmented reality, like Pokemon Go? Oh, sorry, I thought everyone knew what's AR. Augmented reality. It's where you can basically see a Pikachu dancing between two of your buddies. Opportunities that take longer to develop in terms of getting a game to launch, but that we hope have much larger revenue potential. In order to go after these opportunities appropriately, we need to be open-minded about 2 things. The first is risk management. We are protective of our cash balance, and where the size of the opportunity necessitates, we will look at ways of managing our development spend, either by working in partnerships or utilizing a third-party publisher. And where we can participate in things like revenue share on opportunities that might start as a work-for-hire deal, we'll look at that as well. The second is failing fast. We read the annual comments from the CEO of Supercell with great interest, as Supercell are responsible for Clash of Clans, one of the most lucrative mobile games ever. Yeah, and the CEO recently said that they have launched 5 hit games and killed more than 30. Well, that's fine. During the first half, we made the decision to write down the work in progress on 7 titles, the majority of which were in pre-production. There was relatively limited spend, as we were still often doing exploratory work to determine the investment case for a title. Go on to talk about this and that, this and that. And then it gets to the Warcraft part. This, for the half year, our work for hire operations contributed 2/3 of our revenue. We're quite open about the fact that this work serves to elevate our brand as well as providing an internal funding source for the original IP aspirations that Jerry has just been speaking about. Isn't this a little bit similar to Relic? Relic Entertainment, that produced Age of Empires 4, that created Age of Empires 4. Microsoft produced it. Relic created it. And they also have their own company of heroes. Original IP. Whereas Age of Empires 4 is essentially adopted. What we think is often underappreciated by the market is how much this division has evolved since the IPO. What is IPO? Particularly in terms of the scope of work we do. Regarding the scope of work, for a long time we've said that we are working on some extremely high-profile titles, but haven't been able to disclose what they were. Initial public offering. Oh, I see. That's where you go into the stock market. Right? I'm happy to say that we can now talk about one of those titles, and that's Warcraft 3 Reforged for Activision Blizzard. So I wonder why they're suddenly allowed to say it. I think it's more likely that there was a time-limited NDA, and that just ended. 6 months, 3 months, 12 months. I don't think that Bobby picked up the phone and was like, it's cool now. Yeah, we can talk about it. It was no talk about indefinitely. It's like, yeah, you can talk about it now. Go ahead. I think there must be like an NDA, a short-term NDA. Because we've been having changes for Warcraft now, maybe for a year. Maybe it was a 12-month NDA. Warcraft is one of the highest grossing video game franchises of all time and an iconic name if you're a hardcore gamer. We've taken on the project in an effort to respond to the Warcraft's community feedback. I gotta say, I feel a measure of ownership and pride when Warcraft means WC3. Because ever since 2005, it freaking meant WoW. If you say Warcraft, it meant WoW. You had to say Warcraft 3. And if they were a Dutch reporter, you have to say Warcraft 3, comma, the RTS, comma, not the MMORPG where you walk around as an orc. Full stop. So that's Warcraft 3, not World of Warcraft. And then you read the paper of your interview next day, and I kid you not, after a conversation like that, Grubby won a tournament in World of Warcraft 3 in the Electronic Sports World Cyber Games, which is also a contraction of 2 different tournaments. This is not a brand that exists. 2 different tournaments together. Fair enough, I did win both, so you could say that. But World of Warcraft 3, I'm like, oh my god, shake my head. It's those reporters that go like, you ask them, do you want to write this down? Because like you're answering 1 sentence, 2 sentences, 3 sentences. And I'll be like, do you want to write this down or something? And they're like, no, I'm good. Sometimes they have a notepad and they scribble. Some people, they bring a phone and they record it. I'm like, thank you. Our work can go unmitigated, uncorrupted, unforgotten. Some people scribble, and I try to speak less long-windedly, I suppose. And some people are like, no, I remember it. And that's when you get World of Warcraft 3 in the Electronic Sports World Cyber Games. Congrats on winning World of Warcraft 3, Grubby. Thank you. Thank you. So that's about it on Warcraft Reforged. So now I am interested if it would be possible for the community to have a more direct line of contact with Playside Studios. Because obviously they're performing work on Warcraft. Thank you very much for the sub, Nienlol. They're performing work on Warcraft, and we've got know-how on Warcraft, knowledge, and we can discuss features and quality of life and improvements. And well, there you go. Their address is right here. Their phone number is right here. Don't harass them, by the way, chat. Don't harass them. But maybe I'll pick up the phone and be like, I've got some ideas. You can do some good deeds.
Welcome to the Grubsters. Old Olmunsen is going 14 months strong. Let's all do good deeds.
So that's interesting. Pretty cool. Thanks for sharing this news with me, Mamak, and hope you guys enjoyed seeing this news. That's about it. See ya.